Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and in this classic review, we're going to be taking a look at the G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Cobra Stinger, and that is right. Here we have it. Now we've done the Vamp Mark 1, Vamp Mark 2, and now we're on to the Cobra Stinger, and we're going to be able to take a look at the differences between all three of these, and there are some significant differences that make these all unique in their own right, which I do like that they did. A lot of people just think, hey, they just repainted them. They really didn't. There's a lot of differences to it other than just the gun or missile rack. So anyway, we're going to take a look at this. This is not my original one. My original one, the roll cage up here is long gone, and I mean that in the most respectful way. It is long gone. But anyway, we're going to take a look at this, see what the difference is, see how the doors actually open compared to the Vamp Mark II, which is different. We're going to take a look at this missile rack, which is one of my least favorites. I think we saw a lot of issues. Also, we'll kind of talk about maybe some of the things that, well, weren't the brightest when it came to what the Hasbro team was doing. And I think you all know what I mean by that right back here. So anyway, let's get into this. But if you like this type of stuff, you love when I drop these vehicles, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a G.I. Joe classic vehicle. Alright, so here we have the Stinger, and as I mentioned, I will compare them to the two Vamps to show you they're not just repaints of them. So, looking at this vehicle, we do have the exact same wheels here with the nice gray rims. You can see the tires. They always had this nice tread, which I always really liked. It all just ran one shaft across, so they were going to spin at the exact same time. It looks like this one might be a little bent over time. All right. They have the big wheel flares. You get some of the stickers that sit right there, and then you do have the little Stinger right there, which this one had a scorpion. Now, I don't know why. It makes me wonder if originally that was supposed to be named something different. But you got a spider there, and you got the Cobra symbol right there. Now, with the release of the Vamp Mark II and the Stinger, they put doors and a roof on it. And I thought it was nice, even though I never had the Vamp Mark II, that they made it so the doors are actually different. So, if you don't realize, these doors here open up in this way, like the gull wings right here, where the Stinger one, I'm sorry, the Vamp Mark II went up like this. The canvas top, and you can see that that's what this is supposed to be, is some sort of canvas top. Well, this one here had an opening, this one did not, but they always left this room up here for the heads, helmets, anything like that. All right. Even looking at this, there's a couple little details right there where I'm assuming is supposed to lock it down. All right, as we come around to the back, on the back of the Stinger here, we had the little plate where we could put a figure. Now again, if you're unfamiliar with this, we could put this here, and then they actually gave him, or gave whoever was back here, a handlebar that they could hold on to. Now, even as a kid, I think we all saw just how stupid this was, as it's standing right behind the missiles. So, other than when it didn't have the missiles or we lost them, I don't know how many people actually had that on there. As for the front, we get this really nice attack push bar here, which it looks like it is meant to just kind of push and attack, and you also have a winch underneath there. We have the sticker lamp, which these crosses here are meant so the lamp doesn't break out. I never knew that. Like I said, the winch here is a design pullover from our original Vamp, and obviously from our Vamp Mark II, and you can see they used two different pieces here. Now, what is crazy is that they left it open here. So either they decided that, hey, this might be future thinking, or they were going to put something there and they held back because of maybe budgetary reasons. I know no one thinks that there's budgetary reasons, but there are. As for this here, all right, we get the shovel, all right, which is the same on both of these. But when you look at the actual engine here, the Vamp Mark II has the slots across it. This one, you can see what I would assume is supposed to be the radiator, just kind of sticking out there. We can also see the turbo engine kind of sticking out, protruding, where this one here, and I am correct, someone told me this is actually a tarp that you would throw over to hide your vehicle from the enemies, okay? As we come around to the back, once again, we do have this missile rack with 4 missiles. Obviously, it is completely different than this missile rack and also different from the machine guns they went on the back of the Vamp here. Now, they are all universal, so technically, if you twist it and you're able to find the proper space, I'm not going to force this thing out, but there is a keyed notch and this thing will come off. All right, so you can see there that is keyed. This normally is not what breaks. Normally what breaks is that key position right there. Even there you can see that it is completely worn. So looking at this missile rack, since I have it out, it has this nice detail right over here. All right, so you have some cabling, some wiring. On the back, you got some little engineering there too. When we look right here, all right, obviously this is where it goes, but we have these 2 little pieces. Now that is different than either of the Vamps. All right, the Vamps just had what looks like grates there. They actually put some other type of design here. These do just snap off. So technically you can swap them around and use whatever you want. I also believe that we can pop this piece off if need be. I've never done it, but we can pop this off if you really wanted to. And you could swap it for this or vice versa, as this one I'm assuming also does come off, as I can kind of get my finger underneath it. All right, so you should be able to swap those. I'm sure people have. If you have, please let me know. On the bottom, we don't really have anything. All right, they hadn't really, at least with this, they hadn't started to do that. Now, to get the figures in and out, trying to slide them in here was not the easiest thing. So all you were going to do is you're going to lift up. This piece is going to come off. And for all intents and purposes, we're going to take off the doors. Now, all the doors could be swapped. You could use it on any of the Vamps that you wanted to. Mix and match. Make your own vehicle. This is kit bashing at its best, okay? Now, before I do want to mention here, when we look at the Vamps, Vamp Mark I, all right, which has this grate. It also has what we all thought was a machine gun. In the classified, they made it an environmental sensor. Obviously, this is different. But, so when you look at this, you would think, all right, well, these must be the same, only this one doesn't have the middle piece like this one. And then on the back, where these kind of plug in, do not match here. So these are all 3 different molds, all designed very similar, but they're all different. So you can't say that they were just saving money, although they were, because they were using the same design. And this design has been pulled over for many, many, many years, right? As for the inside of it, I do believe that we had something different. All right. I'm trying to remember. Yep. So the original design in here in this Vamp is different, okay? When you look at the Stinger here, all right, we had some stickers. We get the stick down there. I got the handle right there, or the steering wheel, the steering wheel. We got some design up here. All right, now this is all the exact same. At least it seems like it is from what I could tell from before. All right, so the seats and everything are the same. But the dashboard here is completely different. You got a different steering wheel there. You do have some nice design of the seat right there. So I think that does look really good. It gives you a nice look to it. And then when you have this wonderful gray figure, he really pops on the inside. As you can see, everything is very dull. Now with a bad leg like this, it's not the easiest to get in there because that leg wants to fall every time. All right, now technically you could put the hands around the steering wheel. I'm not about to do that. We're going to put this thing all back together. And as I mentioned before, it did need this lip so their heads can fit up atop. Technically, they are looking at the top here. They have no idea where they're driving. They drive probably like they shoot. Pop that back on there. And I will say, be as careful as you can, because the more and more you pop this off, the more and more this roll cage here will start to actually break. And the fact that any of these are still working, you can see how this one is actually broken. This one is actually in good shape. You want to test fate as little as possible. All right. So this here, now I'm not sure if I have this on the right way or the wrong way. The missiles here are not keyed. As a matter of fact, I believe this is the wrong way. I was never able to really know. The reason why I think it's the wrong way is because if you twist it this far, then it comes off. In theory, you'd want it to be spun around so there's less chance of it, but it sits up better this way. As for the missiles, which I kind of forgot to mention, we got the 8 wings on it. This thing is designed really nicely. It looks different than everything else, so it does look good, but there's no dog bone here. This was still, they were not using the dog bone on everything, and these things, as you can see, they were offset, which I like the offset, them being offset, but because they weren't keyed, they kind of just moved around, so they were almost never straight. But you do what you need to do. If you have it the wrong way, again, it's your toy. No one's going to come and take it. That's it. I think I went up and showed you enough of the differences here. One last thing. It did have a tow hook on the back, because eventually we were going to get something to tow with this, just like we did with the Vamps and the other vehicles. All right, there you go. That is the Stinger. That is it compared to the 2 Vamps. And I'm not the only one that put the wings out like this and made us think it was a mask vehicle. We all remember. I don't even remember whatever mask vehicle it was, the main one, the Camaro. This was that exact same thing with the Go Wing doors. Anyway, tell me if you had this. Do you have a story about this? Was this the only one that you got? Maybe you had all 3 of them. Maybe you're just so in love with this that you made sure that every time there was some sort of Jeep, this mold, you had to get it. I'd love to hear that. Grandma and Grandpa got it for you. Who knows? Anyway, tell me about this. I'd love to hear these stories. But anyway, it's time to get out of here. Please, if you like this type of content, take a second. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop a classic G.I. Joe vehicle. Now I'm going to get out of here, but what you're saying is you're still wearing the same shirt, which makes no sense. Where the hell's my Stinger driver? Well, he's right up here, and down here will be the playlist of all the classic G.I. Joe reviews that I've done. Take care.